What's up? It's Adam. And in this video, I want to talk about an idea. It's a concept that I got from a book that I recently read called Hustlers. Now, it might be called Hustlers. That might not be the exact name of the book, as we got this helicopter flying by. Now, the name of the book is called Hustlers or something like this. Maybe I'll put it in the description if you guys care to ask. But it's about pool, it's about hustling in pool, making money. And in this book, this guy has a success barrier where he's very talented at pool, but when it comes to showing up to something that has a lot of pressure, it's the big show, so to speak, he tends to choke. He fails when it comes down to the pressure. Whew, it's freaking cold out here as well. But so it applies to dating as well. And when you're going to approach women that you think are attractive, sometimes it feels like pressure, and it can be difficult. Self-doubt, rationalizations, insecurities, these types of negative thought processes may come into your mind, especially if you're not someone who was natural in this area of your life. Maybe you're coming from a place where you have low self-esteem, you're insecure, maybe you're not very outgoing because of different traumas that happened in your life, or you had no idea that this was even something that you could improve for yourself. Whatever it may be, for some reason you have this blockage where when you see something that you want, and this can apply to basically everything in life, but when you look at it on a micro scale, like dating and approaching women, what can happen is that when you see that woman that you do want to speak to, who you're compelled to talk to, which is funny enough because even just noticing women that you actually would like to talk to can even be an accomplishment sometimes, because you might not even be looking. You might be at a place where you're not even noticing the opportunities that are around you. But let's say that you do notice these opportunities, but there's that blockage. You can't go and approach. You have this self-doubt creeps in, or you're afraid to put yourself out there, or you're worried about the embarrassment that you might feel, or the failure that you might experience when you make the attempt, which is a totally normal part of the process, and you must start to embrace that. The people that succeed at the highest level, they've failed more than anybody. That's a fact. So the more you're willing to fail, the more success you're going to have. So in this book, this guy has a success barrier. He can't seem to win when the pressure's on, when the game really matters. And he might tell himself, it doesn't matter. He might be losing, like in the book, that he's actually, eventually he starts to overcome this mental blockage in himself. But he's playing somebody else where he can see that same sort of blockage in that person. And this person, now he's starting to win these games, but these games are for, say, $1,000 a game. It's for a lot of money. And he's beating this guy 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And suddenly he can see in this guy's face what may have come over him, where he's saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Who cares? I know I'm better. He tells himself, he rationalizes, I know I'm better. Even though I'm losing, I know I'm better than this guy. It doesn't matter. Well, I took this concept when I was out in the day, and that's something that I find is difficult, is when you're not in a talkative mode, when you're not in a bar, when you're not in a club, when you're just going about your day. You will find that these unexpected opportunities come up where you will see beautiful women in the day that you would be compelled to talk to, but that can be quite challenging because you're not in a flow state, and you have to almost perform in a way without being warmed up, and you're not ready. You're not prepared for it. But if you can capitalize on these opportunities whenever they present themselves, Now you're taking more opportunities when they present themselves, which will increase your odds of finding and meeting and hooking up with the women that you want to hook up with, and building that dating life, building that sexual abundance that you wish to build for yourself. So the idea there, though, from this book that I can apply now and that you can apply when you're out as well, is start telling yourself it does matter. It matters. Yes, you want to get reps in this. Just like when you go to the gym, you're getting reps on the bench press, you're lifting weights. You need to be doing that often and consistently to start seeing results. Well, same thing with social skills, and specifically with women. You got to go talk to women. You got to keep putting yourself into those situations which trigger those chemicals in your body that make it difficult for you to talk or for you to perform in a way under that pressure. The more that you do that, the more you're going to be able to handle those situations, convey your personality more quickly, express yourself, not be inhibited by these different chemicals like adrenaline, fear, anxiety, these emotions that would trigger these types of chemicals to be coursing through your body. The more that you do that, the more reps you get, the more skill in this area that you're going to build. But at the same time, you don't want to fall into a pattern where you think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, it's just another rep. What you want to do is you want to fully embrace the emotions that you're feeling. You want to fully embrace that anxiety, fully embrace that fear, fully embrace whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, and tell yourself that this matters. This moment matters. This is an important approach that you're about to make. Don't tell yourself it doesn't matter, and fully feel whatever's coming up for you, and then go in. Now, it's easier said than done, but if you can do that, if you can find a way to overcome those mental blockages, those mental barriers, those obstacles that are coming up for you, and a lot of the time it's just limiting beliefs, fear, anxiety, rationalizations, negative thought processes. And one of the ways that you can do that is you can start recognizing when you're thinking these negative thoughts and reframe them into a positive. Start affirming positive reinforcement into your mind. Every night before you go to bed, when you wake up, meditation, being present, fully experiencing what you're experiencing. And if you can do that, and then you go into that situation, fully embracing the moment, being present, that's going to be a way that you can accelerate your learning in this. And it's going to help you to reach, first of all, get over plateaus, but then reach new levels in this game. Especially if you can start capitalizing on every opportunity that presents itself for you. And in the day, what I like to do is, now I don't go out specifically to look for women, because there's other aspects of life that you need to focus on too. Your finances, your health, you got to have some hobbies, some other interests, things that are fun for you, other than just going to meet women, because we're looking at this as a holistic approach. There's many aspects of you. You're not walking around horny all the time. You're in different modes, different moods. There's other things that are also fulfilling for you too, right? Or there should be, and if not, you should find those things. So when I go out in the day, I want to have those moments pop up randomly and unexpectedly, because that is a way to put the pressure on yourself and sort of manage these different situations or factors so that you can accelerate your learning. Like the metaphor that you could use would be futsal. In soccer, a lot of the high-level guys that played soccer played this game futsal, and you can look that up for yourself. The parameters of that game were set up in a way where the people were able to build ball handling skills, get a lot more plays with the ball, which then helped them when they went to play the game of soccer, because now they had developed all these skills and honed these specific abilities that helped them when they were on the field, because the field was set up in a way where it was even easier coming from the game of futsal. Well, the same thing when you're out, it's even more pressure, I find, when you're just going about your day and these random situations pop up and you see these women and you're not in the mode, you're not even prepared, but you go up and you make yourself do it. The emotions are even more heightened, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to run from challenge. You want to find ways to even make it more accelerate that challenge, or I should say magnify the challenges, make it even more difficult in a way. Now, you don't need to make it more difficult, because just going out there and pushing yourself and going and talking to beautiful women and putting yourself in different situations, and if you even have this mentality where you approach in any situation, ideally, of course that's not probably realistic, but ideally if you can approach in any situation, whether they're with other guys, they're with their parents, whatever it might be, these situations that are going to be challenging in themselves, then it's just going to happen naturally. You don't need to go and make it more challenging. But on the other hand too, if you're looking at this from a training standpoint, when you're in your bar, when you're in a club, you might be in there for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, depending on how much time you're willing to invest into this. And if you're doing that, you might structure your nights where for an hour of the night, you're doing things purposefully to magnify those emotions that you're feeling, to make it more challenging, because that's going to accelerate your learning. That's going to help you to grow even faster. One reason for this is because in game, when you're meeting women, socializing, there's a lot of pressure. You're subjected to social pressure. That's a huge thing in this, is the judgments of others, worrying about the judgments of others. So by putting yourself to be the center of attention, or finding ways to make yourself feel embarrassed and then going and do it anyways. I mean, these are the kinds of things that hold us back. The fear of embarrassment, the fear of failure, whatever it may be. A lot of these things are coming from what we want to be perceived a certain way, or we don't want to be judged or scrutinized or criticized in these kinds of things. So learning to be okay with that is going to help you to then take more opportunities. Learning ways to manage these types of fears or blockages that you might have is how you're going to be able to take more action. So some of the ways that you can do that is starting to validate yourself and care more about your own opinion. What are you going to think about yourself if you go home and you didn't take any action? Or the regret that you're going to feel when there was that girl that you could have that was right there. You could have gone up, you could have approached. There's nothing that would have stopped you other than yourself, but you decided not to because you were worried about the judgments of others, rather than caring more about your own opinion, your own happiness, your own fulfillment. Shouldn't that be important? So that's where starting to develop the inner game, as they say, self-love, self-confidence, self-esteem. You might learn about different concepts of integrity, having integrity with yourself, these different characteristics like self-reliance, self-trust. Well, you can learn about these things and you can read about this stuff in a book, but then what's important is how do you then implement these different concepts and ideas that you're learning about? How do you put them into practice? And some of the ways that you can do that is that when you make a commitment to yourself, you follow through. Everything starts with the self. So when I make a promise to myself that I'm gonna get up at a certain time, that I'm gonna make a schedule and I'm gonna be consistent in that schedule, and I follow through, now I'm developing self-trust. Now I'm developing self-reliance. And that is how you can develop these characteristics, which are then going to translate into dating, because then when you say, there's a girl, I want to go talk to her, and then what do? You do it. You do it because you've developed that self-trust, that self-reliance, and that integrity with yourself to follow through with what you say you're going to do. That is so important. Now, you can take this as far as you want. I'm sure there's people out there that can get results and they might have low integrity. They might not have the highest character. But we're always growing. We can always do better. We're never perfect. So embracing and accepting yourself as you are as well is another great mindset to have when you're going to go in and talk to somebody that maybe that triggers some fear and anxiety or resistance within you. And another thing is that fear is very close to excitement. So you can then reframe the thoughts that you're having into more productive thoughts that are going to serve you better. So instead of saying, "Oh, I'm scared of this moment," you say, "No, this is an opportunity. This is something to be excited about. I'm excited in this moment. This means that this is meaningful to me." And you go up and you embrace that moment and you make the attempt, and you don't know what could come out of it. And eventually you are going to meet somebody where you guys click, because you're going to develop your skills. But not only that, it's just nature. It's just biological. There's someone out there for everyone. But the more that you're presenting yourself to those opportunities, the more likely it is that it's going to work out for you. How committed are you to this? Ask yourself that. How committed are you to this? What are your goals in this area of your life? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give? Are you willing to give your time to this? Are you willing to give years to this? Are you willing to do this until you succeed, or die trying? Die trying, perhaps. You're not going to be here forever. We are going to get old someday. We are going to leave this plane of existence someday. Do you want to live in regret? Having character, this is something that you build in this pursuit. Look for things that motivate you than just the sex. Because yes, that is a motivation. That is very fun. That is something that you should strive for and keeps me going. But not only that, it's the person that you become when you're getting out there, pushing through resistance, pushing through internal challenges, barriers, limiting beliefs. This is what you're doing as well. You're growing as a person. You're becoming more confident in yourself. You're becoming more reliant on yourself. Nothing can hold you back. You're not dependent on anybody else to make things happen for yourself. You start taking control of your life and then realize that it's all on you. Nobody can make you do anything, which is a freeing thing and an empowering thing to know that you can get out there and make things happen for yourself in this area. And then you're going to find that, what else can I do? Your finances, your body, whatever it may be, you can develop yourself in all areas. Thing is, people maybe don't commit to the process and they give up. Or, again, there's no guarantees that you will succeed. There's no guarantees. So then enjoy today. Do the best you can today. Set your life up in a way where you're living your life the way that you would live it if you already were successful. Don't wait to be happy. Don't wait to say, I'll be happy when, I'll be confident when. You're already successful. Tell yourself, these are the affirmations you can say. I am successful. I'm already there. I'm already happy. I'm already living my life the way that I would live it if I was successful. Manage your time, set up a schedule, and then now it's just time to just do. Stick to the process. Stick to the process, be consistent, enjoy the fun and the growth that you're having every time that you go out. Everybody starts somewhere. Some people are maybe further along on the path. Maybe some people are just beginning. So don't compare yourself to others and give yourself credit for the progress that you're making. Maybe it's hard for you to even just show up to the club or to the bar. At one time, that was difficult for me. I had never really even went to bars or clubs. Then I went to a bar and a club. That's an accomplishment. You got to baby step things and give yourself credit for the incremental progress that you are making. Progress is very slow, so you need to be patient as well with yourself and with the process. And that's the thing, is that nobody can skip the process. Doesn't matter how much money you have, you can't pay for skills. So that's something that you have an advantage of, no matter where you're at, is that you need to put in the work just like anybody else. And if you have, then no one's going to come along and just be where you're at without having put in that same amount of work, same amount of effort, same amount of time, unless you're learning from others. Learning from others, you build off of other people's skills, learn from others and build off of their success and knowledge, and then you can go even further than they went. That's a thing too. That's the same in sports, and it's no different than it's sports, it's education, it's whatever it may be. People learn from teachers, instructors. You have coaches in different athletic endeavors. Well, the same thing in socializing. You can treat this as a skill set. You can learn from others in this, like from this video, like I learned from other people as well. And then you put yourself out there, you go take action. At the end of the day, that is the most important thing, is that you're out there taking action. Don't idolize the people that you're looking up to and looking at them as if they possess some quality that you don't possess. Just look at them as an example, as somebody that went out, took action, and over a set period of time, be inspired by what they accomplished, perhaps, but then realize that you're just as capable, but what matters most is that you're out there getting the experience for yourself, making the attempts, failing. Doesn't matter what your insecurities are, what your excuses are. That's why character is so powerful, is when you are able to just embrace yourself as you are, optimize what you can, take care of your hygiene, whatever it is, and now just go make the attempt. Nothing stops you from making the attempt other than yourself. What is stopping you from making the attempt? There is nobody standing there telling you you can't do it or physically holding you back. You're holding yourself back. You're a jailer of yourself. So break through, make the attempt. As soon as you make the attempt, as soon as you make the approach, the beautiful thing about this is that you change in that instant. In that instant, you change. When you see that girl that you want to approach, and whereas before maybe you held yourself back or you succumbed to the insecurities or the limiting beliefs that you were having in the past, but in that moment when you decide to just go up and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Introduce yourself. Don't overthink it. Just make the attempt. That's learning to trust in yourself, relying on yourself. You've changed in that instant. You've now gotten a little better. And the more that you do that, the more likely you are to get the results you're looking to get, but also you're focusing on the skill set. So you're now building the skill, and the skill itself is the invaluable thing. The experiences you have are fleeting. Like sex you will never be fully satisfied when it comes to sex. You're never going to be so fully satisfied when it comes to food or drinking water. You're always going to need these things. It's never going to end. So then, when you realize this, that experience is fun, but it's short-lived. So what are you left with? You're left with your experience that you get from the process that led up to that result that you're looking to get. You're left with the person you become, the character that you develop. And when you develop these things and you focus on that skill, well, then you're able to get those results time and time again, more frequently. And that is the reward. The skill, the character, the person you become, that's what you can focus on. and then how that's going to translate to other areas of your life. And just the same is how you carry yourself in areas outside of game or socializing or meeting women. That also translates into this endeavor as well. So when you sell yourself short, when you concede on something that you want to do, and you fall victim to your limiting beliefs and the negativity and the conditioning maybe that you've been conditioned from as a kid, different kinds of negative opinions or beliefs from marketing and business or whatever it may be, wherever it's coming from, that says that you aren't capable, you don't deserve this, you're not their type, she's out of your league. Stay down there, little guy. Stay down there, little guy. That's for these people over here. Where did these come from? You can change your beliefs. You do not have to subscribe to these standards that whoever made those standards. You do not need to subscribe. You decide what is of value. You dictate your own success. You set the bar and tell yourself what is of value morally, what are virtues, how you are going to carry yourself, what you are entitled to. That is up to you. There is no reason why you can't make the attempt. And no, you're not going to hook up with every person that you talk to, and that's just normal. But you will never find out until you make the attempt. You don't know who is going to be elated that you went up and made the attempt and went up and spoke to them. You don't know who it's going to be. But it starts with you. You love yourself, you accept yourself, you don't take it personally, and you keep trying, and you keep taking action, and you don't make excuses. And that's it. And eventually, you're going to get results in this area, because you are no different than anybody else. And if anything, if you're coming from a place that is perhaps maybe more low down, maybe more difficult for you, well, then you can take this perhaps even further than people that take it for granted and that maybe had results in this area, that it came easier for them. You can go a lot further than they can because you had to work at it, because you had to look at yourself and be introspective and change your beliefs. And you had to really put in a lot more effort, which means you value it more. So that's it for this video. Listen, I also am offering free 30-minute strategy/coaching calls. And I would love it if you would hit me up at datingdestruction@gmail.com if you want to get some more value and get some more help and service for your own specific challenges and needs in this area. I've got over 12 years experience in this, and I would love to give you some personalized attention, show you the value that I can bring, help you to transform your life and get the results that you're looking to get. Not only that, I also do in-field paid coaching, even provide more value in person, able to assess your game, give you feedback in real time. So if any of these things interest you, hit me up. Again, datingdestruction@gmail.com. If not, you made it this far, please please subscribe to my channel if you want to continue to follow me on this journey. And until next time, peace out.